Well, you join me here today on a winter pike session. It's quite a cold day, the water's very cold, and I'm just moving my tackle along because I've tried a few swims but nothing's happening. And here's a good tip for you: if ever you're pike fishing and you're not catching, be prepared to be mobile. Move and try and find the pike. When it's cold, they tend not to move around so much, and you've got to find them. You've got to drop your baits on them. So if you don't get a run in a couple of hours, it's always worth a move. Now, the only reason I would stay put, and here's another tip for you, is to exploit a swim that I know has got plenty of pike in it. And you do get to know about certain swims that have got pike. Usually there's a reason for it. There may be a lot of fry in the swim, or it's just a swim that they prefer. And when it's cold though, you're still not necessarily going to catch them, and you need to encourage them. So a great tip is to ground bait those swims. Put some fish meal ground bait in, some chopped bits of fish in it, make up some nice solid method balls and cast them out there, and that'll draw the silverfish in, and it'll draw the pike in as well. Really worth trying that. Anyway, I'm just going to try and find another swim to drop into, and while I'm on my way down there, I've got another tip for you. Whenever you're pike fishing, use strong tackle. It goes without saying that you need a powerful rod and a good reel, but the line is one of the most important things. A lot of venues today have got a lot of weed, and for that reason I either use 20-pound mono or 30-pound braid. And with that sort of setup, it's very unlikely that you're going to get broken off in the weed. I'll come and show you the sort of thing that we're up against, and then I'll give you another tip. Well, this is the sort of thing we're up against on a lot of waters today. Weed. Look at that. Imagine your bait down in amongst that. It's going to get lost, let's face it, if you cast it into weed like that. So a great tip is to pop your baits up. Whenever I'm fishing a weedy water, I always pop my dead baits up. This one, I'll just show you, it's actually got a piece of balsa inside it. And that's the buoyancy that keeps it up above the weed, and the ledger holds it down. So when you're confronted with weed in a venue, such as we've got here, pop your baits up, you'll get a lot more runs. And one final tip, and it's one that I reminded myself of the other day, is the first thing I do when I get to the venue is make up my landing net. And you never know when a big fish is going to pick up your bait, and you're going to need your net to get it into. Sometimes you can hand land them, but imagine having a big fish here with all this weed in front of me. I've got to get the net under it. And I was caught out the other day. I didn't make my net up. I cast out, put my rod down. I was so keen to get a bait out. I'm just setting my alarms, and the bait runner, the old 8,000 bait runner, is screaming away. A pike had picked up the bait straight away, and I had to hand land it over a load of weed, and it was only just hooked, and I'd almost lost it. And it was a nice fish, it was a double, but imagine if it had been a really big one and I'd lost it simply because the net wasn't made up. So first thing I do when I go pike fishing, make up my landing net, and when I'm packing away, that's the last thing that goes back in the van. So there's a few tips which I hope will help you catch more pike, and hopefully help you enjoy pike fishing a lot more.